From Cedarburg Public Library Radio.
Wasn't quite ready. Here we go.
You not quite ready?
Here's Jack. Jack. Here's Jack. Here's Jack. Here's Jack.
Okay, fantastic. Live. Oh, I like that. Let's not do that. There we go. Live from Zoom in the Cedarburg Public Library in Swamico, Wisconsin. It's the Jack Henke Show. 56 minutes of radio jacularity and 4 minutes of commercials coming to you every week at this time. Our show is made possible today by the Java House on Washington Avenue. Charming atmosphere, lovely conversations, caffeinating Cedarburg since 1992. We also receive the kind support of Mr. Bob's Under the Bridge, fostering a community of dignity, compassion, and friendship by providing basic necessities such as clothing and hygiene products to the homeless and those who need support in Milwaukee and the surrounding community. Jack's wonderful guests today are singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist Wade Fernandez and writer, actor, and now podcaster Beth Albright will be here as well to tell us about her new podcasting ventures and more. Social media master Laurel Cation is also here manning the virtual switchboard. And little old me, I'm Jeff Messerman. Now your host and mine, a man who, when asked about the difference between ignorance and apathy, replied, "I don't know and I don't care." Jack Henke. There we go. You there, Jack?
I think your intro should go a little longer. We only have 56 more minutes. We got plenty of time.
We have so much business to do.
Yes, we do. You have business, all right. I don't know about you. May be old, but you ain't little. Little old you doesn't fit. And you're unshaven, for God's sakes. Show up. What
this is what I call my COVID face.
That's how you get away with it. He slurps coffee from the Java House.
From the Java House.
You got to get Laurel next time. Darn it.
There we go.
Oh, she's got something. All right.
Something, but it's not, we'll see.
It's homebrewed Java House coffee.
Excellent.
Homebrew.
Excellent.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you do live with a barista. So.
There's some benefits there.
I would think.
Speaking of the Java House, they have tons of gift baskets, custom gift baskets they're doing. And they also, the Java House would like to announce 2 new dealios. And they are, they're now serving Lakeside Cookie Company cookies. They're homemade cookies right here in Cedarburg, Wisconsin. They're in the settlement.
Oh, I'm friends with them on Facebook. I follow them anyway. Right away when I saw there was a new baked goods in town, I friend them.
Baked goods? No one says baked goods.
I've been watching some old film strips.
Old film strips.
I kind of reset myself a little bit.
You probably wrote the scripts for the old film strips back in the day.
I loved that job.
Also, the Java House is starting a hot new partnership with the Cedarburg Art Museum at tonight's Festive Friday Eve in downtown Hooterburg.
Ooh.
The Art Museum is a must-stop tonight as they are picking up the tab so everyone can enjoy free hot chocolate and free hot apple cider made by the Java House in the back, out back on their, I think they call it a patio. What do they call it? The beer garden back there?
It's the beer garden in the off season.
Now it's hot chocolate and hot cider garden.
Yes.
They have stuff going on back there too. The Cedarburg Art Museum is a nonprofit that supports local businesses and the vibrant art scene in downtown Cedarburg. Have you guys made it down for the Festive Friday Eves yet? And you missed it again. Laurel, have you been down there?
No, I've heard about it though from my daughter when she was working at the Java House.
It's really cool. They got the luminaries all up and down the street. They got people socially distanced outside singing muffled Christmas carols through their masks.
Yes.
They've never sounded better.
You know, my favorite one is, "Oh, come all you faithful."
Oh, you got a face full?
Yes.
Oh, shit, I got a face full. And speaking of the Festive Friday Eves, it's been a restive week, so make it festive. Get out to Mel's. Mel's is sponsor is having a tent outside of the settlement. They're selling brats, burgers, beers, refreshments, all outside, and it all goes to charities. What's made here stays here.
I love all those things.
Very
brats,
cool.
Burgers, beers, refreshments, hot apple cider, hot chocolate.
Cedarburg is an awesome community.
Doing well.
It is. It certainly can be. So
excellent.
So what?
Yeah.
So we got
What's going on?
We got a big deal today. What time's the first guest arriving?
Both guests are currently in the waiting room.
Oh, wow.
Like I said, I spread out some magazines for them and highlights, good housekeeping.
Yeah, good, not yours.
They have some Java House.
Yes,
virtually, yes, absolutely. The green room is pretty green today, so. But this should be good. Yeah, but we have people from all different parts of the country, which is rare for us. Usually, we have to fly people in. We've never done that, but
not anymore.
No,
we can zoom them in.
Yeah, absolutely, we can zoom them in. So that's one of the cool benefits of doing the show on Zoom like we do.
It's a big day. Because of the guests coming from so far away, I wore my black tie optional tie dye that I save for the holidays. Usually, it's my thing. Where Thanksgiving dinner was a big hit.
I see some Thanksgiving dinner still on it there.
I got so damn mad at myself. Pumpkin pie, god darn it, a little bit of orange right there. I'm like shit.
Sure.
But
it's nice to be able to have leftovers.
Yeah,
or wear them.
Yes, yeah. Looks good.
Oh my. Yes, people talking for good reason.
This is a big day.
I think so.
It's our first show when we're out of National Serial Killer Month.
We both survived it. I like that.
We're out of the month where more serial killers are born than any other month, and we're in December.
All right.
Can you believe it's December?
I'm starting to believe.
Can't believe you're not of that faith. You can't believe it.
That is true.
When you take the torch to the candles.
We begin to put our housing in jeopardy on December 10th. And by December 18th, when we're using 8 candles, that's when usually at least 1 or 2 Jewish households go up. You gotta
from the inside, not from people throwing Molotov cocktails.
You got to babysit the menorah, folks. You can't just light it up and then go watch the end of Seinfeld. You got
seriously? What does the menorah represent? What is the story behind it?
Can I get back to you next week on that?
Oh, you are a idiot.
Oh my God.
You're a idiot who doesn't know the Yiddish.
I haven't been to Sunday school since like 1983, man.
Oh my God, I'm surprised you know what day it's on. 1983.
Absolutely.
You're too busy writing old film strips to get your kids to synagogue for God's sake.
They're totally on top of that. They're parochially, educated. I'm a product of multiple public schools.
I wonder why. Enough.
So in anticipation for you talking about the fact that we're surviving various national days and national months, I found a website called the National Day Calendar. It's nationaldaycalendar.com, and these people
don't ruin it for me.
It seems to be their job. No, I won't spoil any days for you. I'll let you investigate on your own. But they keep track of nearly 1,500 national days, national weeks, and national months.
There are so many days, it's crazy.
It's out of control. You can actually register for a national day, week, or month. So I'm wondering when we can get going on National Jack Henke Show Day.
That would be December 32nd. That'll be the day.
Very good. Yes. Not too sure about your mathematics there, Jack, but that's fine. So anyway, head on over there, nationaldaycalendar.com, and I think don't. No, we went to rely on us.
Use that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Stay away from that website.
The suspense will be ruined.
Full of spam.
I got a couple because we got such a busy show. But did you know that almanacs predict that if snow falls on Christmas Day, Easter will be warm and sunny? You ever hear that one before?
I did not hear that. That's a
you don't even know your own
both of
religion.
Those.
What the hell do you know about almanacs? Did you ever hear that one before?
What if it snows on Shavuos?
Bless you.
I think
you're supposed to have a mask on.
I think Shavuos is somewhere in like August, so that would be really bad. That would be problematic. So yes.
December 28th is considered the luckiest day of the year.
Yeah, well, yes.
You made it through Christmas. You don't have to worry about New Year's yet. And ancient folklore. Now, this is your times. Ancient folklore. This is good for you,
yes,
Bulldog. forest animals have the ability to speak in human languages on Christmas Eve. Maybe that describes, well, depends on whose punch you're drinking, I guess.
I see.
But yeah, well, that makes all those Christmas specials that have the talking animals. They were probably on Christmas Eve. Yeah,
absolutely. Rankin Bass.
Famous birthdays in December. Walt Disney.
Oh, that's big.
Frank Sinatra.
That's bigger.
Bigger than Walt Disney?
Frank wants it that way.
That'll be our question. Instead of crunchy or creamy, we're going to ask people if they like Frank. Who's bigger, Walt or Frank? And Sammy Davis Jr. Now that's quite a triumvirate.
Got one half of the Rat Pack there.
Yeah, tragically, we've already missed National Pie Day on the 1st and National Fritter Day. I don't know if I've ever had a fritter.
I've had a fritter. I've had multiple fritters. I frittered with the best of them.
At one sitting. Don't fret. I've frittered.
Isn't National Pie Day March 14th?
Uh-oh.
Depends on what website you're looking for. Don't start any trouble here.
Someone just threw a wrench in the entire system. Leave it to the social media manager. Come up and
someone just
set it all on fire.
That's on March 14th. We didn't miss it, asshole.
Maybe it's a different kind of pie. Maybe like that's meringue only or something.
Meringue. Well, it's fruit. What do they say in Michael? Either fruit pie or the cream pie.
Yes.
Which one would you say?
Between fruit and cream?
Yeah.
Boy, I will always opt
cream. What
French,
cream, Laura?
I would opt for a French silk type of thing.
Pumpkin.
Meaning,
Pumpkin.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin's a cream pie. It's a fruit. Pumpkin is a fruit.
Ooh, see.
Yeah, but it's made with cream.
So it's not pumpkin cream pie. It's pumpkin pie.
Thus the apple cream pie. I don't know.
Lemon cream pie I've heard of. That was last week too.
I'll look for a film strip on all this. We'll get educated. Don't worry.
Today is National Cookie Day.
That's accurate. That's what the national website told me. So you are.
Oh wow!
You have corroboration.
Yeah, you trust a website you've never seen before.
These people are
me, and you know my record of being right.
These people are into this. Let me tell you. If you go to the website, you'll see that these are all.
Okay, Smarty. What's tomorrow? Don't look.
Now, I have no idea.
Laurel, don't look.
I'm looking at a bird feeder out my window.
He's watching the birds.
I hope you don't see. I hope not to see you tomorrow on this day, Bulldog. It's National Bathtub Party Day.
A party in the tub?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome, I guess.
No, it depends. Trying to erase that.
Wow. I better get cracking.
Get cracking. You get cracking, all right, buddy.
I have to tell the kids to clean the tub.
Oh God. Before and after you enter.
Oh boy!
Here, Laurel sent a message for you. You ignorant.
I saw that, and she.
I'll read it. At least you can read it and sound smart.
All right.
Laurel Cation.
The 7 lamps allude to the branches of human knowledge, represented by the 6 lamps inclined inwards towards and symbolically guided by the light of God, represented by the central lamp. I didn't understand any of that. The menorah also symbolizes the creation of 7 days, with the center light representing the Sabbath. That's my Larry David eating that basically.
Wow. You really are an idiot. Oh, God.
I knew all of that. I just didn't know how to articulate it appropriately.
40 days in the desert doesn't sound, 40 years, whatever it was, doesn't sound too bad.
5,000.
5,000?
5,000 we wandered.
No way.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
And you're here?
We made it.
You found yourself in Cedarburg.
It was when we had to wander across the ocean that was really problematic.
Take another century. Do a better job. Find somewhere it's warm in the winter.
That's right.
Oh, God.
The fun never ended. So, yeah, good stuff.
We got
what else we got cooking today?
A serious note.
Yes.
One of our dear friends and truly a local landmark in Cedarburg, Jim Coots, passed away this past Monday. He was very involved with the community. Very, I mean, it's you see the Lisa Curtis did a great job with the story about him in the news graphic, but he was into everything. He was so involved. You had him as a teacher, and he didn't flunk you.
I know. That's he was a history teacher at Homestead. Yeah, he was a history teacher
in your one semester before you got expelled from there.
It was the march up to my walking papers. Yes, but no, he was a terrific teacher. He's one of those great history teachers that he would come in with a distinct, syllabus, and we were ready to go, and he had the day completely planned out, and all you had to do is raise your hand and say, so what do you think about the current state of politics? Nothing. No, we wouldn't touch the material for weeks. He was one of those great teachers that you could just divert, but it was always compelling. I mean, it was a great, that was the good stuff. That was the stuff you actually learned. So, and of course he was so involved in Cedarburg that he wanted to just like becoming mayor. Well, so there was that.
I worked on his campaign to get him elected to the mayor. He was
really,
yeah. Wow. And we had a great, the guy before him was a negative guy, and the guy behind him was rhymes with liar, appropriately. And he was nasty, nasty. But Jim Coots was such a nice guy. Our campaign slogan was positively Coots. Just
nice.
Simple. And he was such a positive guy. He loved the area. He wanted to do the right thing. And he got elected in a landslide and served 2 terms. I wish he would have stayed for 3. Yeah. But he didn't. He had other things to do. He was involved in so many other things.
Absolutely.
But
what years were that?
Like 99 to 2003, approximately. I saw it in the paper, but I think that's about right though. He was such a nice guy. Yeah. And he, in fact, believe it or not, I don't just pull your leg, Bulldog. I was giving him the business when I had a column. I would mention him in a column, and I'd see him and he'd say, "Don't mention me in another column," because I was always making fun of him in a good-hearted way. And so the next time, very next column I put at the very end, it had nothing. The whole column had nothing to do with him. But the last line of the column was, His Honor Mayor Jim Coots specifically ordered me not to mention him today, so here you go, Jim Coots. He came up to me and he went, I said, "Don't say it." And he went, and I didn't know his first wife Lee that well, but I know his widow Carol, and she's wonderful too. They were like Cedarburg's first couple. They were always involved and helping and positive. Yeah. It's a loss for them.
He was in Rotary too with you, was he not? Yeah.
Yep. He was in Rotary. He was in, God, name something he wasn't in. He was in the fire department raising money. He was all over the place all the time. Just a great guy, a gentle giant. So
giant is right. Yeah, he was very. I remember first day in his class, immediate intimidation. Like, I may have to behave in this class. So.
Yeah, he was a referee. I remember I played football. I didn't know him. He was a teacher at your school. I was in Cedarburg, and there was no way you were getting away with anything with him there. It was all by the book. Yeah. It was all like, no, boys, no, don't do that. So I really will miss him. He's a great guy. Yeah. And it's unfortunate with the pandemic that they're not having a big celebration right now.
Absolutely.
Of his life, but they'll get to that. But what a great guy. He had 2 sons who are nice people, and give to their communities as well. So just a good all around guy.
Yeah. Big loss, definitely.
Yep.
All right. Well, we to keep things moving at a good clip, because we do have a busy show today. We are going to move on to a commercial break for those of you listening on the radio, to the broadcast, which is after the fact, and we'll be staying here on Zoom, of course, and we'll be back after this. It's the Jack Henke Show on National Cookie Day. We swear.
Yes, literally.
Yes. So I'll be. Damn it. You're tuned to the Jack Henke Show on CPL Radio, and a lot of you are watching us on Facebook Live right now, which we appreciate. And if you're listening on the radio, you're listening about 6 hours later, because that's about the earliest I can edit this thing. So that's fine.
Our daughter Margot just said, "Righteous hat, dude." So the hat stayed. You were worried about it.
There we go.
It's now a permanent part of the show.
Excellent.
One compliment will do that.
Yes. Yeah. You'll
relative.
You'll ride the coattails of that for decades now. So
eyes on me for tuition has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm kicking it back over to Jack so he can introduce our wonderful guest from LA.
Well, Beth, you have had quite a buildup from Jeff. He tells me you're a multi-talented person of the theater who led the Cedarburg Children's Theater and other theaters around in this area. And then the Burg wasn't big enough, so you've taken your show west to
the Burg
conquer.
I would still be in Cedarburg and not in this lovely LA sunshine. May I show you out my window?
We have sunshine. It's 20 degrees, but the sun is shining.
I would still be there, but I tend to follow my son now. It used to be my husband. But my son.
Wait a minute, that sounds weird.
No, he's a doctoral student at UC Irvine, and so my husband found a job out here in this area, so
Excellent.
we could be involved in my son's life and not lose contact with him.
Nice.
But they will tell you, I pine away for my days in Cedarburg. I'll be back. The theater is on hold because of COVID. And Jeff is going to be directing Charlotte's Web, which I'm hoping will be on late spring or in the summer. We haven't determined the date. We're waiting to see how the vaccines do and how people feel about, gathering in a theater. We usually get about 200, 250 guests per show. That's our audience. And we do 3 performances. So it's a big deal. The kids are kind of crammed backstage at the Cultural Center. If you've ever done a performance there, the backstage is basically a hallway. So we've got to make sure that it's safe for my babies to be there, and it's safe, for all my parents, grandparents, neighbors, friends to all come and watch the show. But we will be back, and nice. I'm determined that I'm going to keep my one foot in Cedarburg for as long as I live.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, cool. It's a great community for the arts. It's very supportive of the arts, as you know.
Right.
So how did you get started in the theater yourself?
Well, there was an exact moment. There really is a story here. My mother was so into musical theater, and I don't sing. That sadly, if I could sing, I'd be doing none of this. I would be living in New York and living on the stage because I love it. But I'm not a singer, and I decided that I wanted to pursue broadcast journalism, and so that's what I majored in. But I did theater on the side because I know you can also do theater without singing. I've encouraged my non-singing students to do that. Although I really wanted to be in broadcasting, and I like playing myself on TV a lot, so I went in that direction. But there was a moment that my mom, I'm going to date myself because I'm pretty old. My mom wanted to take me to see the 10-year anniversary of The Sound of Music. And it was in Birmingham, and we lived in Tuscaloosa, where the University of Alabama is. And it was a huge deal. I was 10 years old, and she took me to the theater. And I remember oh my God, people this is what I can do. I can do this. And we went to intermission because, they had a big intermission in the movie. And I skipped up the aisle to get my candy at intermission. And I remember so distinctly at 10 years old, standing in that line going, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be a performer. This is what I do. And that was the moment. And from that moment on, I was looking for ways to do things. I was in The Sound of Music when I was 10 years old. I auditioned and found a play and got in it right away. And
excellent.
Yeah, so that's when it all started for me. I was 10 and never looked back. But I think the arts are all of it encompassing. So I've always been a writer. I've always been entering writing competitions. I've got a number of books out, a number of books coming out because I've been writing a lot in COVID. And I write all the shows at the Cedarburg Children's Theater adapted for my 50 kids so that they all have speaking parts. It doesn't do anybody good self-esteem wise to play a rock with no lines. So I make sure the rocks have a name and they have a personality and they have lines.
that rocks.
I was a brilliant rock, by the way. I'll have you know. And I had no lines.
In a tree, and you can be all kinds of drama with a tree. So,
wow.
Yeah, I just want to make sure they all feel important and necessary. And that mission of that theater was extremely strong for me, and I ran it that way and will continue to run it that way. Jeff is on board to direct Charlotte's Web whenever we get that out.
She saw me direct once. I'm sort of like an Otto Preminger. I have like a monocle and a riding crop. You will be brilliant.
Have you ever been to you've never seen his cinema nights, have you? When everybody's asleep and Jeff's eating all the popcorn.
No, but I bet he's excited about it, and he's a writer and he loves children, and I know enough about him. He came so highly recommended, and now I've gotten to know him, and I kind of think we're very similar people.
Oh, don't say
So
that.
I think it's going to go really well.
You're a much nicer person than that. You're much too good to say something like that. Don't lump yourself with him.
Beth, I'll send that $50 check. It should be tomorrow. So yeah.
I'll be
Excellent.
expecting.
All right. So not non-theater, maybe it is theater related. How did you mention Alabama? How did you end up in Wisconsin from Alabama?
I think I got lucky, and I'm saying that honestly. Yes. I was in Alabama, but then I met my husband in New York City. We were interning at CNN our junior year of college.
Nice.
And I got him to come back to Alabama and graduate. So now, he's got the University of Alabama degree, which he chides me about all the time. And then we left and moved. We started moving all over the country, and I got my part on Days of Our Lives. We finally wound our way out to LA. I really wanted to be on a soap opera. Soap opera was the choice, not movies or film, TV, none of that. I wanted to do a soap opera.
That's steady work. That's absolutely steady work.
Yes, but you can be glamorous and be a psychopath. And I thought, oh my God, that's
just like real life.
I love it.
What part were you on Days of Our Lives?
Well, I didn't get too much into the psychopathic field. They started making me nice, and I was really mad about that. I was really mean for a while, which was super fun. And my character was named Mandy Cox, and she ran the outdoor mall called Ballistics, and that's where I was supposed to be playing like 23 years old, 22 years old, being a manager of like a Gap clothing store, but I was 30, and we were trying to have our first child, and we'd been married for 8 years. So I played a lot younger, but it was fun. But the minute I knew my son was coming along, I don't know what it was. My mother was like, but you waited your whole life to get on a soap opera. You wanted to be an actor, and you're here. And I'm like, but I got to get ready for my child, because I had this whole Norman Rockwell idea in my head. So I wanted to have dinner on the table and candles and do the whole 9 yards. So I chose that. That was my choice. And I followed my husband's career. He's a promotions director, and also he was an on-air television reporter. He was a writer for Candid Camera while we were in Hollywood, and he's very funny. And so I just followed his career along, and all the while I thought, I'm got to do something, because I just have this creative outlet. I got to do something. So I started writing. And so we were in California, and we decided, I don't know, my husband had an offer from Channel 58 there in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee. And I had been to Cedarburg one time before. And I remember very distinctly having this conversation with him. And I said, if you can get me to Cedarburg, I'll go. And that was the deal. And we wound up right there on Center Street, just a few blocks up from the theater. Mm-hmm. And I fell in love. And then I didn't know I was going to do a theater. I thought, okay, I'm going to sit on my porch and write my stories. And I started teaching private lessons. And before I knew it, the kids were saying, you've got to give us a theater. We need our own theater. And, how do you say no to a kid? I was like, crap, I got to do it now, because a kid is asking me for it. And
I do it all the time.
So I went to see Jean Lambeau at the Cultural Center. And I remember she says, I don't know what you are or what you do, but we're going to do this. And so you go out there and make it happen, and I'll give you the space. I was like, okay, neither one of us really knew how we were going to do it, but that's how we wound up in Wisconsin. And I had hoped that was home, and I felt roots growing for the first time in my life. I'm not joking. And then my son got into the PhD program back in California. And we knew at his age, he was going to be finding his person and getting involved in a serious relationship and hopefully getting married. And we didn't want to miss those years of his life, because he was 27. And sure enough, he's engaged.
Do you approve?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
They're watching. Maya and Brooks, hello. Yeah.
Also, you have to say that.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay.
But I'm glad we're here. But, I have such good girlfriends. The best girlfriends I've ever had in my life there in Cedarburg. I miss them all so much. We would shut the town down, sitting over at Farmstead till the middle of the night, having drinks and laughing way too loud. And I just miss them, and I miss life there. I don't miss the cold, because it lasts a little long for my Southern blood.
Oh, God.
But other than that, So now we've decided I've spent a lot of time in isolation, that I have a few underlying conditions, and so I'm kind of stuck at home. And so I've spent that time writing, and we're creating a podcast, actually 3 of them. Jeff, there's one that you're going to love. It's called Podcast Mystery Theater.
I saw that. Yes,
I'm so excited about that.
And in fact, I'm hoping I sent you. I'm hoping to get potentially, if you guys want to, I would love to play it here on CPL Radio. I would love to play what you do on the air. I mean, if just so, I mean, once you are done, and however many you wanted to have, and we would be delighted to play it here. That's for sure. So
we're going to have our marriage show, which is really funny because how do you move 35 times in 35 years and have competing careers and still stay married? So that is a hilarious show because it's ridiculous messes that we got ourselves into over and over and over again, and somehow we are still married. So that's called How Are We Still Married? And then we've got the Podcast Mystery Theater that Ted is writing and both of us are acting. And then I've got the Best Book Show Ever, which I'm going to be interviewing all of my favorite authors. I've got so many, and so many of my friends on Facebook that are my author friends. So that will be a super hot show. And so we've got 3. We hope to launch them all in January.
Well, the author show, the library, I'm sure would be extremely interested in as well. So that certainly snaps into what we do here. I'm so excited
about that when I don't know what to do, because of course I want to ask them all, like, what do you do? What's your process? How does it work for you? Because we're all sitting here by ourselves as writers. And so I've written my first suspense, and I hope it'll be out in 2021. I've placed it in Pine Falls, which is not Cedarburg. So just to get that out there, because it's a suspense and there's a murder mystery. And of course, none of that happened there. And then I have a couple of other books I'm working on. And then I have a whole series I just pitched. Was it yesterday? Day before yesterday. That's a funny kind of mature love. So women in their 50s, think Golden Girls, and My Sassy Belle series, where there's snarky, funny, sassy, sarcastic women. Make them all in their 50s and sit them down in Cedarburg, Wisconsin. And so I came up with this really funny story of these older women who are all searching for love. And of course, they're all based on my friends. So that'll be fun.
The attorneys will be calling tomorrow. Don't worry. It's fine.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you guys are creative too. Haven't you had just like epiphanies of creativity in this time of COVID, where I just can't do enough. There's not enough hours in the day. So that's kind of what I'm going through. I've got like 1 million books. One of them's finished, 4 in progress, and the podcast, and my theater back in Cedarburg. It just all keeps me really busy.
It's fantastic.
Well, for your author podcast, we recommend highly Leslie Kagan. I don't know if you know her.
Of course I do.
Yeah.
Leslie is actually the one who recommended Jeff. I love her, and I love her writing. Her writing is phenomenal. And I'm going to have her on. She doesn't know it yet. So there you go, Leslie. You're coming on the show. I haven't actually invited anyone yet because we don't have the logo and ready and everything to promote it yet. So I want to get ready, and then I'll line my guests up. But I was a radio talk show host, but I don't know if you knew that part, for 15 years.
Really? You're so reticent and shy. I can't believe it.
I think I love talk radio more than anything. Because I just love people and interviewing people and being in like your position and finding out, what makes them tick, and all everybody has a story.
You bet.
And so I just loved it. I just love people, and I love talking to people. And as you can see, I haven't talked to anybody for a really long time because I can't shut up.
I'm glad we stopped by today.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for lining this up, Jeff.
God, people are here. Hello, people.
And the very important question is, what's your cat's name? We saw a cat.
Keeps going back and forth.
That is a showbiz cat.
That is a total.
Did you see was it a big white cat? A big furry white cat. Okay, that's my Himalayan. She never comes out, so that's amazing. Her name is Tallulah, after Tallulah Bankhead, of course.
Very nice.
From Alabama. She was a total disaster. Everything she did was fabulous on the stage, behind the scenes, not so much. I've done a ton of research on her because I, of course, want to write a book about her. And that was Tallulah. And then I have Cosette, of course, named after Les Miserables.
Wow.
My favorite player of all time. And then
these all sound like very low maintenance cats.
Oh my God. Cosette is pretty low maintenance. She's just so happy to be in a home, but Tallulah is huge, high maintenance, just a problem. Yeah. And then I have a dog, Lexi, who's on the floor here. And then we have Macy, who's a tiny, tiny, tiny little white cat, and she's over 17 years old, and she stays downstairs in the sunshine. So
nice.
Smart.
yeah, I can't believe Tallulah came out while I was doing this. That's amazing.
She knows when the camera goes on.
You know,
Where did she learn that?
I called her agent this morning and she said she was going to do a walk on. So it's great.
That's so her. Now I'll have to pay her. God.
Yes. Scale. One salmon.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So anyway, I'll be back when Jeff, you're directing the show. But I'll be back the last few weeks.
See, she's not crazy. She's coming to check on you.
Yeah. Well, and Leslie has also decided that she will help me teach my master classes, and she's got so much experience too.
Yes.
As far as her acting and comedy and all of that goes. And my question is, why the heck didn't I know you guys better, and didn't we hang out all the time when I was there?
You know,
don't you remember? I was there at the farmstead that night. You fell over and you spilled an old fashioned all over.
I don't want to be around that though.
Yeah, it was my best tie dye up to that point before I got pumpkin pie on this one.
Yeah, I would go to Farmstead with Sally Ward, who was one of our biggest sponsors at the theater. She totally believed in the theater and just helped me so much. And then, of course, Jean Lambeau and Sue Giamatti. Sue is watching.
Oh, I know Sue. She's wonderful. Sue even likes me. Yes.
These people are so wonderful.
She's obviously a saint then.
Yes. Saint Sue.
I think she kind of is, actually.
Oh, my God. She's wonderful. She's cool.
I agree.
We got to get her on.
Yeah.
Arrange that.
Fun.
We can Zoom anywhere now. It's a wonderful thing. I mean, you are our first multi-time zone guest here. This is very exciting. So yes. Today,
Zoomerberg.
Yes. So today, Los Angeles. Tomorrow, Dusseldorf. I don't know. We'll see how we can do it.
Dusseldorf. Hogan's Heroes.
See what we can do. Well, we have another guest in the waiting room, Beth. We could do a whole show on everything that you're doing, but I would like to remind viewers and listeners that we do have at least one of your books upstairs, because I've shelved it before, so it goes out and everything. So
I think you've got like almost. I think you've got all of them.
Got them all? Okay. All right. I haven't.
I remember, like, they're not really appropriate for kids.
Right.
Yeah. But one of my child actors, who was 13 at the time, decided that she was going to read it, and I was like, oh dear God. And I couldn't yank it from her, but I signed them all. It was Rosalie.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
So when I first moved there, that's how I got my theater going.
Oh, fantastic.
So real quickly, I was up the street from you on Center Street there.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked down and I went into the library and I introduced myself, and she says, oh my God, I think we have your books. And so she looked them up, and then all the ones she didn't have, she said, bring them, sign them, and we'll get them in. And that's exactly, I mean, a stack, I've got 11. So I brought her all of them and I signed them, and they all should be there.
All right.
Beth, you've just been reintroduced to rule number 1 from the library is if you want to know what's going on there, don't ask Jeff. He'd be like, I think we have one, maybe. We have all. Oh yeah, we do.
You know, I miss staff meetings regularly. So it's,
well, I don't think that you're really the audience for the Sassy Bells anyway. So
well, you know, that remains to be seen.
Thank you so much for having me. You just have me on anytime. I'm always here and ready to go, and my heart stays in Cedarburg, so just ask me anytime.
Oh, fantastic. That's
Thank
great.
You. It's been a pleasure.
Keep a lookout for all of Beth's stuff that she does, except Days Are Alive. She will not be showing up on there right now. So, all right. When we come back, Wade Fernandez, multi-instrumentalist and singer-songwriter, and we'll be back after this. Thank you for tuning into the Jack Henke Show on Zoom and CPL Radio. And we're back on the Jack Henke Show for this Friday, December 4th, National Cookie Day edition. I'm kind of fixated on that, aren't I, Jack? I just keep kind of dialing back to that National Cookie Day thing. Clearly, we're getting close to lunch. And I will kick it over to you, Jack, to introduce our next guest.
Well, we've had the pleasure of having Kelly Dupuis-Schmidt on with us twice. And we talked to her about recommending artists who she felt had the chops to do their own music. We need to do original music. We want to become one of the original music stops for musicians. And Wade,
we're always open. We never close.
That's right. We never close. So we're pleased to introduce Wade Fernandez. And Wade, you address your email in something I hadn't seen before, and I listened to it on one of your videos that I watched. How do you pronounce it, and what does it mean exactly? Can we start with that?
I'm not sure if you're talking about my name or maybe a greeting.
A greeting. The greeting.
Oh, okay. The greeting is Poso.
Posu. Okay.
Poso, yeah, it's a
Poso.
Menominee word.
Okay.
Menominee language.
Excellent. And thank you for being with us. We're thrilled to have you. Looking forward to this.
Oh, I'm honored to be here.
I watched some of your videos, and you said you play a bit of everything. You can't nail down who Wade Fernandez is musically wise. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your music in your own words?
Well, I grew up on the Menominee Reservation, and that's where I'm right now, looking out my window. And this is my bed is behind here, so it looks like I'm in a professional studio, but I'm in my bedroom. But I'm looking out and I see the forest, and I have two lakes on both sides of me. So I'm on the Menominee Reservation, and that's where like my building blocks are, sort of, for growing up. And the music here, we have traditional Menominee music, so that goes back like probably up to about 15,000 years, up to the Ice Age, time of the Ice Age. And then my parents had a nice record collection, old records, kind of scratched and stuff, but everything from Otis Redding to the Beatles to the Stones.
Ooh.
And had then there was speaking of libraries, there was the Shawano Library just off the reservation, and so I would listen to whatever they had from. They had Joni Mitchell, Neil Young, Beethoven, Lester Young, Billie Holiday, and then everything I could get my ears on. That's where my influences are. It's just everything. But growing up on the reservation, it's also the sounds of the birds singing, the silence in between the songs that the animals sing. So it's kind of all mixed together, sort of.
And that was fascinating. The silences. I hadn't heard that before, like you described it. And it's so true. But whenever people in a conversation hear silence, they feel like they have to jump in and fill the void. But that's not necessarily true in a conversation or in music.
Right. It's like the things that have the most impact a lot of times have the most space. You say a word, and then they kind of like have to chew on it a little bit, and then they're okay, what's coming next? If we fill them with too many things, it's kind of like a commercial, and stomach and bleeding ulcers and all these things come up really fast,
In my real life, I do advertising, so I hear you, man. Thanks.
He knows about bleeding ulcers. Let me tell you.
That's right. I cause them. Well, it sure is a pleasure to have you here, and you're such
thank you.
The way you speak is so interesting. It's fascinating. I recommend everybody visit wadefernandez.com to hear your music, to hear you talk about it and the different things you do. How do you describe? Would it be multi-instrumentalist? I mean, how do you describe someone? Describe yourself to someone.
I guess just somebody who tries to share music and I guess share everything that I have. Here's what I think. I think every single one of us are born with gifts, and our job is to just find out how to share them in the best way. And so, like, for me, music has been a way to open doors into classrooms, into universities, and to travel around the world and do shows, but and also go into like homes for the mentally disabled and prisons, and it's been a thing to get through to people and share something. And so that's kind of how I describe the music. It's a vehicle to share.
Nice, excellent. Well, would you share some of your music with us?
Sure. If you could just give me like what time does the show end, so then I can just throw whatever comes out in those minutes.
We're pretty loose here. I mean, again, I shoot for a 60-minute runtime, so usually 1 o'clock but if we go long, that's totally fine too. And especially if someone's doing wonderful stuff like it sounds you're going to do, my hands are away from the controls.
So if you have 2 to 3 selections or whatever you feel comfortable with, please let us know.
Okay. Well, then I'll just and I'll put the headphones down like this. Otherwise, I'm going to get the latency from the instruments. So maybe since I have an acoustic here, and I'm at home, so I'm not on the road, and so I have more instruments at home than I can take on the road, which is kind of handy. You know, I can reach over and grab something else, and some of them are underneath things, so I can't get those out right now. But anyway, this is a song that that'll be on my new CD, and I just wrote this one a few months ago when Representative John Lewis passed away. On the streets with tired feet, standing tall for love's dreams. Keep the peace, don't let them feed on the hurt that we bleed. Love is strong, fear is weak. Just hold on, plant good seeds, stand your ground, so a child can breathe. Stand together, stand in peace. We'll stand in love, we will shout out for love. Stand in love, we will rise and soar above. Stand in love, we will stand fast for love. We will never feel in love or fall down if we stand in love. Stand in love. Stand in love. They can try to break us down, but please don't feed the beast they crown. All our strength, it can be found deep inside the sacred ground. All our strength can be found. And that's where I screwed up the lyrics, 'cause I couldn't read them. But freedom's call for one for all. So we'll stand some greed may fall. We'll stand in love, we will shout out for love. Stand in love, we will rise and soar above. Stand in love, we will stand fast for love. We will never fail in love or fall down if we stand in love. 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 So that's a new song that I wrote, and you can tell when I screwed up on the lyrics.
Hey,
But
you're
that's
a true
what's
pro.
fun, I think, about live stuff. You know, you guys
Yes.
are doing this live show, and being able to just share without worrying about editing.
Right.
You know,
It's fantastic. You've officially made it a Feel Good Friday. Powerful, positive message. That's great.
It's excellent.
And a
Oh.
true pro. You just marched right on, man. Perfect.
Well, thank you for that. I'm gonna put this guitar on, so I gotta put it away from my ear for a second.
Okay. I think Wade would fit real well with you, Bulldog, because you're always screwing up.
That's true.
He can cover Wade. Wade can cover for you anytime.
You know, that's the beauty, though. I mean, the screw ups are what keep it real. You know, those are the things that keep it real.
You bet.
Polished radio bores me. I like when you hear those human moments. I'm like, okay, I'm listening to human beings, and that's why I love community radio and what we do here. It's just like, I get radio creators who come down here and they say, oh, I have to really, try to get the show perfect. I said, oh, please don't do that.
Yeah, and it's true. I mean, when I go to schools and I talk to kids, it's like, you have to deliver what you have and who you are. And in order to do that, you have to just kind of step up and just let it be what it is. It's kind of like like when you're a child and you need to share. Maybe you have a family member who's sick and you make them a card, and you don't know about how to spell their name maybe, or even how to spell get well or something. And you don't color in the lines like everybody says in school you're supposed to, but it's the most beautiful gift, and it's and it changes. It makes the people better. It helps them to feel better, and that's what being human is about. It's about stumbling here and there and just getting back up and delivering what you need to deliver.
You bet. So deliver us another one, please.
Sure. I might improvise a little bit and see what happens, and then maybe I'll work into a song from that. I do have Papico and Kakitoatim. I have a couple native flutes with me. So let's see. This one right here is in the key of E minor. So I'll start in E minor and see where it takes me. And I have this pedal on the floor that will repeat whatever I play, So I'm gonna use that so I can pick up the flute at some point.
Excellent.
So now I stepped on the thing, so now it's going to repeat whatever I just did. And then I can play on top of it. And then because I was still playing, I could add something, like I can try to add something over the top of that together. Strings are kind of new, so they're a little out of tune. When you get new strings on your guitar, you got to stretch them a bit, and they didn't get stretched enough.
I was just about to say that.
And then if there was a chat, I'd read something, I'd make up something off from the chat. I don't think I want to read my bank statement though. It's a beautiful day here on the Cedarburg Library Show. What's the name of it?
Jack Henke
CPL Radio.
CPL Radio.
CPL Radio?
Yeah.
On CPL Radio. On the Jack Henke Show. Coming at you live. We're gonna keep on singing and keep on playing for you, yeah. Yeah, yeah. And then there's that auto-tune string. And I'm gonna stop that so I can check my tuning quick. Okay. And I'll do maybe one more thing. Maybe on something upbeat. This is another new song from the CD I'm working on, and I kind of have a goal of, which is really kind of probably not doable, but putting out a double CD within a month's time, and without money. But I have the songs, I have the material, and this will be this is a song I wrote on a tour in Italy a couple years ago, and I never recorded it yet. It's called. It's got like a really deep title. It's called "Lady Be My Baby." Because I write a lot of songs. Like I have songs in Menominee language. I have songs that are really like, you know, deep. But then every once in a while, it's like, okay, let's just you know, cruise on the surface a little bit and just have some fun, you know, or dance or something. And so this was one of those kind of songs. And maybe I'll just do part of it, and then I'll go into part of another one, and then we'll finish. Let me move these headphones. They're right in the way of the strings. I wanna feel you in my arms now, baby. Only you can turn these charms on, baby. Come and lay down by my side, wear your pretty smile. Lay your head up on my chest now, baby. Every time I go away, it's crazy. Gotta play on some blues to save me. And I'll play them just for you. For you, I'll pay love's dues. Be the music in your soul, just play me. I want you to know I'll be your baby. You can always count on me. Be my baby, let him be my baby. Let him be my baby. And I'll go into another song quick. This is other side of it. And there's that tune. There's that string. So for the last song I'll do, I'm going to do something in the Menominee language, because you asked me in the beginning what Poso meant. And Poso is hello. This one is Suwanamia. And it means we are blessed. And right now, you know, everybody's going through difficult time, you know, with COVID-19, and you know, it's a difficult time all the way around. So, what's really important is to focus on those things that we're blessed with. Like right now, I'm looking out my window and I see the water and I see the sun shining, and it's going to be beautiful when there's snow on the ground, but it's beautiful without the snow too. And if I walk outside, I can get a nice breath of air, and I see a dog in the background over there. And so, you know, the dogs remind us how blessed we are when they come up and put their head on us, or, you know, or lick our hand or something, or a baby smiles, or a kid smiles. So whatever happens in life, you know, we have to remember those blessings, and remember that whenever there's a dark cloud, there's always the sun behind it, you know. So this song is kind of about that, and it's in the Menominee language. I know we're a little short on time, so I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to do maybe a verse and a bridge on it or something. 니처럼 산 와뱀와서 마주왔던 소매고 니처럼 산 was back to when been in the shake walk me come nuki bom get got doggy butchki and a man gasping this is the title sweat me Nachni nakuk wadni nam mini pani mashik loinen gwe now Nachni kesakinata moen kewasakasen Anakaskisako asako no Mewenuki Bonke katogi pachki and a man Gespinta Sweat me Sweat me
Wow is right.
Fantastic.
I just
Beautiful.
great.
floated away. I just floated. It's just caught in that current. That was beautiful. Wade.
Wonderful.
No, I went in for having me on the show and for doing things. We have to keep sharing somehow, and you're providing a platform for people to speak and people to share music, and so I appreciate that.
Well, we'd appreciate if you'd consider coming back and visit us again. You're welcome anytime.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, I've got 5 minutes off right after this. I'm just kidding. No, I'd love to. I'd love to, though. I mean, some time to return, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
Great. Well, we'll check back when your double CD's done in a month.
Yeah.
Ah, great.
No, but thank you. Thank you. What do you have a word for until we meet again, or what a phrase for that?
When we say poso, it's hello, but it's also like we also use it as in like we'll see you later or we'll see you again, because we don't have a word for goodbye. So it's kind of like similar to Hawaiian language with aloha. So you can use poso both ways.
Poso. Okay. Would it be? I mean, I'm gonna start using that if that's all right with you.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. And our language is considered a dying language, so the more it's used, the better it is.
Great. It's beautiful. The song is beautiful.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Thank you. Excellent.
I didn't know when I woke up this morning that I'd become an instant Wade Fernandez fanatic. It was so good. That was just great. So thank you so much.
Yes.
No, thank you both. Thank you, all of you.
Yeah.
You
Cool.
take care.
Take care.
Excellent. Thank you.
Well, that's the show, folks.
Wow. Can't we end on a higher note than that? Oh, God. Oh, my God. It's fantastic. Don't say anything. And I shouldn't either.
No. Let's just say Hoso to all of our listeners. And, of course, to Laurel, thank you for running our social media and getting as many viewers and listeners as we can. And we'll be back next week with another show. And that was a great. I'm done. Stick up.